I have two new decks, a new spread that I'm going to be utilizing, and you're going to get two spreads for this month. The first one is going to be with the Tarot Illuminati deck, and the format's going to be different, and I'll go over that in a little bit. And the second section is going to be the reading for love and relationships, and I'm using the Tarot Musha for that, okay? I'm using this new format. It is working out pretty well, I feel, for the other signs, and I enjoy it on an energetic level. It's less draining, so it's easier for me to read, and it's also a little bit more directed. So one of the things I was getting for you guys while I was shuffling the cards is that I feel there is some uncertainty surrounding your environment. And I'm also sensing that there is going to be possibly people who are far away coming to see you. And I feel that you're waiting for them and you're hoping, that they will finalize their plans, but they're dragging their feet and nothing is really finalized. They don't have an itinerary and they can't give you a definite date, and that can be a little bit frustrating. So there is like communication, I feel like back and forth, and then nothing is finalized. So it's frustrating. And as a fire sign, you want concrete answers, but I feel like the other person, they might be caught up with their own things. It might be, not being able to know which days they can take off work, or they have their own things that they're dealing with. So be very, very patient, okay? I feel like whoever you're waiting on, they have a huge significance in your life. For a lot of you, there is some, let me see here. How would I best put this? I feel like, honestly, there is some concealed information, and you would rather see somebody face to face to discuss it, mainly because you want to read body language and you want to see how they're acting, and you want to pick up on those nonverbal cues. That way, if they're honest or not. And I feel like a phone conversation, text messages, emails, it wouldn't do it for you. So you want something a little bit more in person and also personalized. So that's what's coming through. And let me see, what are the cards for you here. Okay, so I'm going to pull out. So I don't read reversals for this deck, okay? It's funny, the Six of Cups, the soulmate connection, has been showing up for most of the signs. It's pretty nice. And then, so these are 8 cards first. I'm going to read them as clusters, and depending on what shows up, it is going to indicate, one specific aspect of your life. It helps me narrow down the energy, and it helps me, figure out the direction. And so that way it's an easier way to read. Okay, so let me just organize it a little bit, make it straight, and then we'll go into your readings. First of all, Leos, I feel that it is going to be essential for you to sift through fact and fiction, okay? Figure out what it is that people are communicating, and figure out if you're hearing what they're saying, or if you're so like emotionally invested in a specific outcome that you're overlooking some blind spots in communication with another person, and that can play out in all aspects of your life. So don't jump the gun just yet. Hear the information that is being presented to you, and take a step back, sleep on it if you need to before you make any type of concrete decisions, okay? First of all, let's talk about this first cluster. We have the Three of Swords as well as the Prince of Cups. The Three of Swords indicates some type of separation, some type of pain, heartache, and emotional anguish associated with a water sign. Water signs, this can be their sun, moon, or rising. It's the Prince of Cups, and this is the Knight of Cups. When these two cards appear together, I feel like it is somebody offering, some type of emotional support, and it's a flake out card. So together, I feel that there is somebody in your life possibly exhibiting the qualities of a water sign, where they make an offer, they don't follow through, and I feel like it might have happened like 2 or 3 times in the past, and you're kind of at an impasse with one another. Okay, a lot of you, this might be a past situation that you have overcome, but the disappointment still hurts you. And every time you think about it, it does corrode your self-esteem just a little bit. So it's really important for you to get over this blockage and to know that not all people are like this, and um, not all of them are going to disappoint you in the future. So I feel like a lot of you have overcome a major hurdle dealing with somebody who might have good intentions, but they lack the ability to follow through. They make promises they can't really deliver. Okay. I feel there might be either just stoppage in communication or some type of geographical distance between the two of you as well. So you might be cities apart, or you might just be, like I mentioned, they're dealing with their own things as well. Okay, so it is really important to be understanding. And I know that you get fired up when people are not where they're supposed to be and are not doing what they promised. You get really upset. So you want to also understand where they're coming from too, because it's interesting. I was looking at the background of this, and I feel like it's raining. There's a major storm in the background, and then you have like on the foreground this situation that looks very mechanical. And I feel like a lot of you might have, from your past, you might have gotten together with a person, and you both were like very broken, and you both might have found shelter with one another, and you both knew that it was temporary because you're not whole yet to be in relationships. Okay, obviously this is not going to apply to everybody, but I feel like that's the situation here. You both found shelter with one another, and you both helped each other through a difficult, rough time. And because of it, I feel like it wasn't the right foundation for a good relationship, or a stable relationship at least. It served its purpose, and it's important for you to move forward. Okay. Second cluster, we're looking at the Princess of Cups and the Princess of Pentacles. The Princess in this deck deals with the Page energy. So Page of Cups, Page of Pentacles. For a lot of you, I feel that there is a lot of young energies around you that are offering, first of all, financial stability, and also love, friendships, and things like that. Both of these cards, give me a second. I'm still getting used to this deck, but I'm seeing, because a lot of people are showing up, I'm going to read them, especially pages, as more of an energy rather than a specific sign or a specific person. But I feel like at this point in your life, for a lot of you Leos out there, specifically women, I feel like you're at a good point in your life financially. You might have started some new projects. You might have started a new job, and you're kind of like climbing the mountain. You're still learning the ropes. You're still learning the skills essential for you to advance in your career, and to climb the career ladder, the corporate ladder, and also to create a very, very stable financial foundation for yourself through that work situation. And I feel like that's where your energy needs to be directed, okay? At the same time, work is bringing you a lot of emotional fulfillment. The fact that you're able to, learn things on your own and to take off in a way where things are very, very consistent. I feel that you might feel a little bit bored, but the heart of it is you're very proud of yourself because you're able to take care of yourself, and you're able to see that, I'm doing this, it's kind of boring right now, but there isn't a goal in mind, and eventually I'm going to climb up that mountain, I'm going to get there. It's a little bit of an uphill struggle, but I'm going to achieve financial stability from it. So you have the financial stability driving you to take this course of action. And I feel like that's where you should devote your time, your energy, and that's where you should be able to find your energy. And with the Six of Cups. So actually, going back to this just a little bit, so we're going to backtrack a little bit. I feel like, so I mentioned the Leo women. Going back to the men, I feel like in terms of if you are somebody, regardless of your gender, if you are out there dating and you're dating women exclusively, if you're dating women or if you're dating both genders, but I feel like a lot of the dating partners that you're encountering are very independent. They are possibly younger than you. I feel that they're very enthusiastic, and they might seem a little bit aloof. They might seem as if, they're trying to sort out things in their own life. So dating prospects are plentiful, but in terms of long-term dating prospects, it's a little bit problematic for this month because I feel like both people have a lot going on in their lives. They're trying to start their career. They're trying to decide whatever they want. So you're dealing with people who might be indecisive. Okay, actually, if you're male or females, Leos, you're dealing with people in your dating environment who might not be really sure about what they want. They might be at an entry level job and they're figuring out if that's where they want to be long term. So things are not set in stone, but I do feel that they have a lot going on in their lives and they're not in a point where they can make any type of commitment just yet. So third cluster. First of all, we have the Six of Cups and the Queen of Wands. So first off, this is your energy. This is the energy that you bring to the table. And this is the energy permeating throughout this month, okay? This is a very, very strong fire energy. And this is somebody who has been through a lot. They have learned many, many life lessons. They're not hot-headed like a page energy or a knight energy. This is somebody who likes to take care of others. A lot of you might have children that you're taking care of. And a lot of you as well are, you wear the pants in the household. So, regardless of your gender, I feel that you make the household run and you run it like, it's very effectively run in your household. And I do sense as well, we have the Six of Cups here. And the Six of Cups deals with children. So specifically speaking about children overall, children need a lot of emotional fulfillment. Okay, and the Cups energy indicates that. And you're the fire energy, and I feel like there might be a situation where you have to take a step back and you have to reassess how your children are interacting with one another, figure out what you can learn from that. And I also feel that this is a very strong figure, but she's off on her own and she might be emotionally unavailable. So while you're out trying to achieve success in the world, if you have children, I feel that some type of emotional disconnect might happen as a result, okay? This is also, we have a third entity, a third person here where they're constantly surveilling the children. So a little bit more of a hands-off approach, I feel, to let the children foster their own independence would be very, very good for you. At the same time, I feel that, sometimes it's, so this is a very strong person. And I feel that in dealing with children, you want to give them enough structure where there is consistency and stability so that they know who they can trust, they know who they can rely on. But when it comes to other child rearing practices, such as, intensive mothering or even like surveilling to make sure you're always on top of them, it might not be good and it might not be positive in terms of fostering trust and support, okay? So not to go too much in depth about this because children are all different, but I feel that there needs to be more time carved out for creative activities. Okay, there should be. Cooking together, for example, is actually going to be very fun for the kids. They like doing that. Baking, cooking, doing creative projects, painting, taking them to the park, climbing trees, whatever it is that they want to do. I feel that that's where you are going to have to make some compromises and concessions. And I do sense that, Leo women are very, very good mothers. So you want to just foster a little bit more of that within the kids' environment, okay? And give them that freedom of movement to move about and to develop their own selves and to come into their own as well. In terms of other aspects within the home environment, All of these things indicate like a very strong maternal paternal energy, a very strong household vibe. And what I'm feeling as well is that a lot of you are in a very strong karmic relationship. So this deals with some past life energies. It deals with a very strong soul connection. Okay. And what it's telling me here is there is some type of a soul connection within your household, possibly the person you're involved with romantically. If you're married, I feel that there is major reassessment that needs to happen, okay? So let me put this down and focus on this cluster here. We do have the Ten of Pentacles as well as the Tower. The Ten of Pentacles deals with financial resources, and the Tower is the breakdown of something. And I feel that for a lot of you, there might be some type of moving house, or even some type of a breakdown within the family unit, which is divorce, separations, dividing up assets, possibly even dividing up the house, or even selling property. Okay, the Ten of Pentacles indicates some type of generational accumulated wealth, and it's something that we counted on. It's something that we rely on for stability. We thought it was going to be there for quite some time. However, the Tower, as the major arcana, that brings about structural changes, that brings about massive transformation with whatever it touches. It indicates to me some type of major upheavals within the household needs to be addressed, or it needs to be changed or transformed in some way. So for those of you specifically who have had, I feel like, problems with children, or if you're dealing with children, there has to be a better way to do it. And I feel that this is the month in which you're going to have some type of breakthrough. For those of you who are kind of like skirting the issue of whether or not the relationship partnership is really working, the household arrangement is really working, you are going to have to do some major transformations, either relocating, either moving to a house that is designated just for you, your significant other, and your kids, without the interference of in-laws or relatives. If it's a crowded household and you're ready at this point to branch out and look for a new property, I feel like it's going to be very favorable for you. And I feel like the changes are coming in very swiftly. So this is something that is going to happen for you very fast, okay? And for those of you dealing with divorces and things like that, I do sense that assets are being cut in half. Like I feel almost like, so we have 3 here and a 7 here. And it's funny, the 7 is like the cycle. The 7 is a very spiritual number. It's a very strong cycle. So I feel like there might be 3 kids in the picture. We had a lot of pages that showed up, so I feel like there might be children in the picture. And yeah, it's something that can be. It might be a situation where you stay together for the children, honestly, and now you're realizing that, you have to make some changes. And with children, it's kind of hard to know how things are going to affect them. So I feel that either way, there's some major transformations coming through, okay? In terms of the advice here, and this last row here reads straight across, and it is going to deal specifically with your advice, the direction in which you're supposed to be headed, okay, Leos? So first of all, I have 2 cards here that deal with a lot of karma. Completing karma, letting go of old karmic relationships, and letting it go in a way that is that allows for that situation to wrap itself up. So letting go of hostilities, letting go of resentment, letting go of the feeling as if, I've put up with so many imbalances, or I've done so much in this relationship, the other person hasn't done anything, and things like that. So, that whole concept about letting go of the karma is just not only about physically letting it go, but dealing with the injustice of it, because with karmic relationships, a lot of the times we feel like we did so much and the other person didn't contribute anything. And if you were to talk to that person from their perspective, they feel like it's vice versa. So karmic relationships are hard, and when they end, they tend to end very like guns blazing. So I feel like something is coming to an end. Some karmic situation is coming to an end. It is very important for you to let the ego aside and to deal with this, especially if there are children in the picture. Because I feel like with every relationships, especially karmic relationships, you learn a lot from each other, and the lessons are the important things. The lessons are the important takeaway message from that. So even in the past, the soul connection allows you to come together, and the karma allows you to stay together, get married, have children, build up, family wealth, generational wealth. And towards the end of that, the breakdown of that relationship, there's resentment, there's hostilities. And it is best to think about, what have I learned from that? And what's the point of holding on to grudges and resentment, okay? And I know that it's hard when you're dealing with, separations and divorce and when there are children involved, but that is something that is out of your control. So try to, I guess, try to let go of keeping scores, who's right, who's wrong, what I did, what he did, and etc. So start over, I guess. Start over with somebody else. Lesson learned, move on, okay? So let's talk about the advice here. We have the Five of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, and then the Seven of Pentacles coming in the middle. So I feel like, going back to what I mentioned, if assets are being divided up, there's like 70-30. There's like that whole dynamics. If it's between two people, I feel like there is some type of 70-30 where it doesn't seem fair, does it? 70% for one person, 30% for one person. I feel that you are going to have to go through multiple rounds of compromises, especially for those of you who are starting a new job situation and you're doing salary negotiation. They might try to lowball you with just 30. You can push for about 70, okay? 70, whatever the amount is. I feel that it would be in your favor to push, stand firm, and push for the higher end of the spectrum. Even though you feel like, if they start me off at 30, is it even feasible for them to go up to 70? I feel that you're going to have to stand your ground and you're going to have to push for it, okay? I feel that in salary negotiations, whatever negotiations, settlements, you really have to fight and trust what you have to say and trust that you deserve it. Once you do that, the ball's in your court. So I feel that it's going to be favorable. So I feel like, with 5, 6, and then 7, there is going to be a middle ground that is going to be had here. And it seems to me like 7 is a big number here. First of all, I'm going to say, once again, the 5 and the 6 of Pentacles greatly indicate to me some type of a family, generational wealth, family karma. Karmic ties with family members, with people that we consider family. So this can be exes, like ex-husbands, ex-wives, and things like that. And I do feel there is still residual karma that you are going to have to complete, okay? If you are hanging on to resentment and things like that, because we do have the Three of Swords as well, which indicates pain. It indicates betrayal. If you are hanging on to the resentment, I feel that you are going to have to let it go because it is really affecting the completion of this karma. And what I mean by that is like, if you're fighting a court issue, for example, and you feel like, I want the other side to pay, well, we all want divine justice, right? But it seems to me as if it's not in your best interest to feed into the resentment. Just try to release the outcome to the universe and trust that the universe will resolve this issue in a manner that is fair. So even though it might not seem like justice in your own eyes, but at least, don't put your ego into it and don't push for a specific outcome because you want the other side to pay. You want them to suffer. So try not to, get into that kind of mindset, because I feel like drags situations on longer. It keeps you from moving on. And I feel like for a lot of you, you're taking this stance where you're just like, I want this outcome. This is a very, very strong fire sign, okay? Um, Within the other decks, she kind of looks to the side, but I like the way she's depicted in this deck where she's just like, I know what I want, I'm going for it, and I'm looking at it right now, so that's what I want. And she doesn't waver. She doesn't, she doesn't budge from her position. It can be good or bad, so just be mindful of this energy. I do feel once again that if you are dealing with any type of salary negotiation, it will go out well. Salary, that's fine. Stand your ground, stand firm, and know what you want. That's fine. When it comes to family situation, divorces, estate planning, even, things like that, even asking family members for help, I feel that a lot of family members might come to you for assistance. And I feel that, being the good souls that you are, you're digging through your bank accounts and you're trying to see, like, how much can I spare, in order to help them. And I feel that there is going to be a good middle ground that you're going to be able to reach, okay? I also feel the Five of Pentacles does indicate as well, in a generic sense, it does indicate financial issues. So I feel that you need to go through the books this month to rectify some accounts and to also figure out how much assets you have. I don't feel like you've been too extravagant with money. Well, this is the month in which the financial situation needs to be dealt with and squared away anyways. So regardless of spending habits or whatever, I feel that, you might want to curb your spending just a little bit, and try to, balance out the books and balance out the accounts. Look through your accounts to see if there's anything fishy going on there. And I feel like there might be family members coming to you for help. There is also a situation here with the Seven of Pentacles where if you've been in the red for quite some time and you've been working on a new project to jumpstart a new phase in your life, that project is going to really pay out and it is going to provide some type of alternative revenue stream for you, or it is going to bring about, investors, financiers, as well as a financial windfall that's right around the corner. So the advice here is, I feel very strongly, let go of the past, move on with financial future, okay? I also feel that we have the Six of Pentacles, and in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, it deals with, the man giving away things to the poor. And both of these cards indicate to you, to me, that I feel that this is a good time for you, especially for those of you who have recently, who are contemplating a house move, who have recently divorced or separated. I feel that it would really be nice for you as a clearing away process and as a releasing ritual to clean out your attic, your basement, all the things that you haven't touched. If you haven't touched it in honestly 3-4 months, you probably don't need it. So try to declutter your life. Try to give away to people who are less fortunate. I feel like your environment is a little bit cluttered. Yeah, I feel like there is a lot of people, a lot of things, a lot of objects. So the environment looks to me a little bit cluttered, okay? So you might want to just clear out that aspect of your life. It's a very good releasing ritual, and it's also whatever alms you give out will come back to you. It's like sending out good energies to the universe, and it will come back to you and reward you adequately as well, okay? So it's a good way to set your intentions. Very good for you to do that if you can. If you have a lot of stuff and you don't have emotional ties to them, declutter your closet and give that away, okay? So let's go into your love reading, Leos. Okay, so let's see what's going on for you guys for love and relationships. So Six of Pentacles is coming out again. Yeah, so you definitely have to give some things away, and that means, releasing some things from your life. things that might have been very, very karmically tied in with the way you manage finances. It could be, the ways you've been dealing with love partners who can also be relationship partners as well. So some balancing of the karmic scales is required here. Okay, I'm going to put these back and reshuffle. Okay, well, they want to give you 6 cards, so let's look at this situation here. Okay, so you get an extra card. I don't believe any of the other signs got an extra card. But so first of all, the 6 of Pentacles. This indicates some type of balance within relationship, okay? And it needs to be balanced out, otherwise the relationship is not going to work. So for those of you who are in committed relationships, I feel some balancing of the scale, some balancing of the books, who's giving, who's taking, and things like that. These are all questions that are being brought up so that you can create a more stable foundation for yourself, so that you can correct some of these issues as they creep up rather than let resentment fester, okay? In the past position, I feel like if you are in committed relationships, somebody might have an extravagant like spending habit. Okay, so they might be, they might like have a lot of buyer's remorse. They might make like very impulsive purchases, and I feel like they're just not practical with money. So I feel a lot of financial considerations coloring your relationships in overall, which might not be such a great thing. Okay, so you want to be mindful of that. What's coming through as well is for coupled and singles, there is somebody in your romantic life. The energy that they exude is that of the Emperor. The Emperor is a little bit detached, aloof, and he or she might be a little bit cold. I also feel coupled with this 4 of Pentacles, it is somebody who is very in control of their emotions, or they are also very, very emotionally detached. They care about you, but they take a really long time to make up their mind about whether or not to proceed with you. For a lot of you, I do feel that this is also the energy that you're either projecting or attracting, okay? I feel as if the person that is around you is somebody who is, I feel like you might be attracted, especially for you singles, you might be attracting somebody who is very financially well off. They might also have like a high status in society. Whatever social circle they run into, they are considered like an authority figure. They're a voice of reason. They're a voice of authority on a specific topic. So they are a little bit of a big shot. And I feel as well that they can help you a lot. Okay, you have a very, very stable, grounded potential relationship partner around you. But I feel like this is a person that looks at big pictures, and in order to court this person, it is going to pose a major challenge. So if you're up to the task, I do feel that it's going to be very good for you. It's interesting because I believe the same card came out, I believe for, was it I think Capricorn. And I feel a lot of earth energies involved in this spread as well. I feel as well, one of the main things that you want to do here is try to express yourself emotionally a little bit more. I feel like that's going to be very beneficial for you. I feel for a lot of you, especially Leo men, you were in a position where you were very, very generous, where you gave a lot of yourself. And moving forward into new relationships, you want to hold back a little bit, because I feel like others might have taken your generosity for granted. Well, actually, this applies for both men and women, Leos. I feel like in the past you might have been very generous, very extravagant, and I feel like you might have been taken advantage of. So it is really time now to re-examine your relationships and see who is still around once you close that fist, okay? Not in a way where you're putting them through tests or anything like that, but I feel like you're narrowing down your options, and you're at least figuring out why certain people are still in your life. and you know why, you know who you should devote your time to. And I feel like there was a lot of with that Three of Swords earlier, there was a lot of disappointment regarding relationship partners. They say one thing, they don't follow through. You end up being the sole provider or the sole person working at something, and you're tired of it. So I feel like if you were to take this stance, what's coming in for you looks very, very favorable. Okay. So first of all, we have the Four of Wands as well as the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is somebody who is very, very secure on their own, and they exude the aura that they're very competent, they're very confident, they have financial security behind them, and they're in a very good position. We also have the Four of Wands, which indicates, marriage. It indicates some type of a family reunion. It indicates as well closely linked in with the home environment. So as your foundation, there is some structural changes within the home environment, but I feel that for you guys, it is going to be financially very, very stable for you. So for a lot of you, you might be attending weddings, you might be children related to marriage situations, and I feel like that's where you might potentially run across somebody who you will like a lot, mainly because they have this very strong aura about them, that they know how to take care of finances. So if you've been dealing with somebody very extravagant in the past, you are going to encounter somebody who is the opposite, which is somebody who is self-made, and they have the capabilities to generate more wealth, money for themselves in the future. And you're really attracted to this type of energy because in the past you've had to give so much of yourself and you felt like you were taken for granted. So now you want somebody who's a little bit more stern, who's a little bit more control when it comes to their emotions, their spending habits, as well as the way they carry themselves. They are not only practical, but they see the bigger picture. They are financially stable, and they provide a very, very good foundation for you. So especially for those who are in committed relationships, don't let the money situation be a major source of contention between you and another partner. But I do feel some situations regarding finances, spending habits, and things like that needs to be hashed out. I'm not getting like overly romantic vibes when it comes to this, so you really want to talk about this with your significant other so that it doesn't affect the rest of the relationship, okay? It doesn't affect or it doesn't seep into the emotional expression of the love within the relationship. For those of you who are out single dating, I feel that a lot of you would rather be single than be in a situation where you are taken advantage of or taken for granted. So I feel like for this month, there's opportunities around you. You've at least have your eyes on somebody. I feel there is a strong authority figure, somebody who is very, very self-made around you that you like. I feel that you like them. And I feel like the feelings are being reciprocated, but they don't know how you feel. I don't feel they know how you feel just yet, okay? Because all around you is all these pentacles situation. In the past, there might have been a water sign. You might now be dealing with an earth sign. So in the past, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. In the present situation, there might be Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. And the Four of Wands, this is the energy that you're bringing into the picture, which is that you want reciprocity. You want a relationship that doesn't have to, that isn't so difficult. You don't want conflict, and you also want somebody. If you have children, especially, and you're single and you're out dating again, you want somebody that is going to love your children the same way you love your children. And I know it's hard on the dating scene. You want somebody like this. You want a situation where you can remarry, where you can have something stable, like to find a stable relationship partner for your kids, so that because you don't want to bring too many people around your children. And I feel like if you've been dating, people that have been reneging on their promises, or they say things they don't mean, you don't want that same energy permeating around your children's environment either. Okay, so Leos, it is going to be good dating month. If there is an authority figure around you, I feel like the situation, the feelings are being reciprocated. Okay, if you like a private reading, please contact me at temperatestar@gmail.com, or you can visit my website where you can view my availability and book an appointment for yourself as well. The 12 card it's the Celtic cross spread with the same deck and also, you know, the same interpretations, okay? It's just this is what I'm going to be doing now for the monthly reading, and I enjoy it a lot more. It's easier to read, mainly because the energy is concentrated within, you know, two cards and clusters and things like that. So thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon. I'll be back in for the mid-month reading. Take care of yourself, sort out situations within your family, okay? And wish you all the best. Take care. Bye-bye.